All right, good afternoon. I'll give you an injury update here as we get started. So first of all, Vaughn is not here today. Vaughn's tending to a family funeral that he has. Daquan Jones's window will open today. I don't expect him to play at this point, but it's good to have him back, starting to work out there. Kyer and Justin Shorter's window remains open, and then Jordan Phillips will not practice, just coming off of that wrist surgery. Everyone else will practice in some capacity. Yeah, I don't right now. I just haven't had a chance to connect with Nate just due to the short week here yet.
Is there an idea of when Vaughn may return?
Right now scheduled tonight, that he'll be back in town tonight sometime.
Hey, Sean, when you get Daquan back out there, how can you simulate some of the things that sort of test where he's at power-wise that he'll be needing?
I mean, excuse me, just today's a walkthrough, so it's going to be tough today. We'll just get a better feel for it probably tomorrow, and he'll practice tomorrow and get through the drill work individual and take it from there.
It's been since mid-November since we asked you about Matt. Is there still the chances aren't looking good for him coming back this year?
Yeah. To my knowledge, the information I have right now, it's not looking good.
Did you mention Ty Johnson?
I did not mention Ty.
What's his, he had the shoulder, what's his status?
Shoulder, yeah, he'll be out there at practice today. Yeah.
Point to the change, if you can reflect back, I know you didn't do the main scouting on him, but coming out of Georgia, knowing that he was, involved in that backfield, sharing the backfield there, what did you see, and did you see the potential in him coming out of college and after winning a national championship?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon and I were, discussing that leading up to the draft, and the scouts did a good job, and as did Brandon, and identifying James as a potential candidate for, in particular, that pass-catching running back position. When James came in last season, we probably didn't get him enough targets in that, and that takes time, right? That takes work with the quarterback and rep upon rep. So now you're starting to see some of that in addition to the running game as well.
Sean, I think maybe just to clarify with Matt, you're not referring just to the end of the regular season. You can talk about any and all playoffs as well for him.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say because I have not asked that specifically, but the general information I've gotten on Matt Milano, that's who you're talking about, right? Milano, is that he will not return this year. That I have not gotten anything different up to this point in regards to Matt's status. So.
How tricky is it to prepare for a quarterback who really hasn't played much at all? You got the one game. What's the challenge of that?
Yeah, there's only so much film out there. But I really thought in the game and a half that he's played this year, give or take, that Easton's done a real nice job. I mean, I know the result against the Raiders was the result, but I don't think that's indicative of who he is and his talent level as a quarterback. I mean, you see him in the pocket. He moves well. He's athletic. He does some real nice things. He threw some accurate balls, and so I think it's we need to be on our A game and have our focus where it needs to be this week.
How about the challenge? I know you maybe addressed this yesterday a little bit, but it's pretty rare to go up against a brand new coaching staff in season like this. What kind of a challenge does that present, knowing nothing about how they call a game or anything like that?
Yeah, you said it. There's going to be a lot of unknowns when we head out there. So we've got to make sure again that we are playing good team football. We're all disciplined the way we need to be disciplined and focused where we need to be focused. And I think that's a big part of the challenge this week.
Can you elaborate a little bit on your philosophy of going up against number one receivers? You talked a little bit yesterday about how if you take them away, that eliminates one way to get beat. But just is that a week in, week out thing for this defense to say we've got to focus on whoever their top target is and try to take him away as much as possible?
Well, that's what you try and do. You're not always successful with it. I think our guys have done a good job to this point managing that, and I think that's you know, the quickest way to get beat is usually with the number one receiver, at least through the air, obviously. So, you know, we try and be pretty intentional about that.
In 2021, and I may be wrong on this, but your path to the playoffs was clear, win out and you're in. It's not so clear right now the way things are muddled. How does the uncertainty, or does it change anything, just not knowing that your path is not guaranteed?
We're just focused on the Chargers right now. We can't control anything that's outside of our control, and we just have to focus on the Chargers right now, because if we don't handle that, then all that other stuff is not going to matter.
Sean, is there a danger, not the word, but a team that lost the way they lost the last game? Do you have to consider that at all? That's going to be a team that's like Denver, got killed, and they came back and won their next game. Is this something you got to think about with the Chargers coming off a loss like that?
Well, this is the NFL, so you have to take every measure each week to play your best football, whether it's last week or this week, because if you're not on your A game, it shows up rather quickly, and then you head to the buses with you know, sour faces and everything. So you know, there's a way to get the results in this league, and it starts with putting in the work and earning the right to win.
Sean, what does a win like the Dallas game, you know, this weekend do to maybe solidify that?
Solidify.
You know, it's one thing to be confident. It's another to go out and execute the way you guys did in all phases against the Cowboys. At this point in the year, especially given what this team has been through, how much is that, whether it's build confidence or whatever, how do you view what that game can do to propel you down?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should help confidence, number one. Beyond that, though, you know, the good teams do it more than once, and I think that's where our focus has to be this week is doubling down on the focus, doubling down on the execution, really the preparation that leads to the execution, the details we have to have on game day, and I mean, listen, it's a short week for us, right? They're coming off of, you know, 9-10 days rest roughly, and we're coming off of 6 days rest. So, you know, we've got to have a good week of preparation here.
Sean, going into the season, middle linebacker was a storyline that we've talked about a lot. Has Terrell Bernard maybe exceeded even your expectations, not only playing, but just leading your defense?
I mean, to come in and do what he's done, A, as a player, B, as a leader of our defense, that's a big piece of the job, right? When you can, it's probably really 50-50, part leadership, the other 50% is making your own plays, and he's done well in both of those areas, and he knows and he wants to, as much as anybody, continue to improve his game, and really for us as an entire football team, that's our goal, is get better every week.
What has stood out about Johnson that, you know, he's been able to sort of solidify that role?
He's stepped up his game. He really has, and that's been fun to watch. The week that there was a week after Matt went down, and then, well, the game even Matt went down, and we kind of went back and forth between Tyrell and I believe it was Dorian at the time, and then for maybe a few weeks or 1 or 2 weeks after that, and then to T-Dot's credit, he stepped up and became very consistent, and he's done that ever since. So it's been fun to watch, and I'm extremely proud of him.
What's your view on Khalil Mack and if he can continue to throw up the production he does this deep in his career?
Yeah, you talk about difference makers in the NFL. He's one of them, and he's been doing it for a long time. And that, you turn the tape on, that hasn't changed.
You talked about identity and how long it takes for a team to find its identity, given the fact we're this far of the season and how the team's played over the past couple of weeks with its backs against the wall. Is the identity of this team becoming more clear?
I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is, and it starts with days like this and goes right on, taking it one day at a time and 1 week at a time. We've got to be very intentional about what we're trying to do and how we're trying to get it done this week. Thanks, guys.